Once again, welcome back to Quick Questions for Lent. Pastor Ashley is kicking us off this week.
Yeah, in Luke chapter 9, there's a gentleman who wants to bury his father, and Jesus is like, nope, no time for that. Is Jesus devaluing family? No, I don't think so. Jesus is actually elevating kingdom work above tradition or above our families.
In Luke chapter 9, Jesus asks his disciples, "Who do the people say I am?" And one of his disciples says that some people think you're Elijah. Why do people think that? There was a prophecy in the Old Testament that said somebody like Elijah was going to come to announce the kingdom of God, that he was going to be a forebearer for the Messiah. And Jesus interprets that as John the Baptist doing that work. So prophets were not in the habit of reincarnating or coming back to life. It was just a sign of what might happen or what would happen when the Messiah was about to come. And that for Jesus was John the Baptist.
Mark chapter 6, after the miracle of the feeding of the 5,000, verse 52 says the disciples didn't understand the significance of the miracle of the loaves. What's the significance? So in chapter 6, it's the feeding of the 5,000. Chapter 8, feeding of the 4,000. One happens on the Jewish side of the Sea of Galilee, one on the Gentile side. If you dig into the numerology around those two miracles, part of what Jesus is trying to communicate, the significance, is that he is the Messiah the people of Israel have been waiting for, but he's also the Messiah for all people on earth, including Gentiles.
Jumping to Old Testament, Rahab saves some Israelite spies. How does she know about the Lord if she is not an Israelite? And she says in Joshua chapter 2, verse 9, "I know the Lord has given you this land. We have heard how the Lord made a dry path for you through the Red Sea when you left Egypt." The things that God was doing were huge, and people who were not associated with the Israelites were hearing about the amazing things that this God was doing.
Again, from the Old Testament, we learn very specific details about land division in the book of Joshua. Why does it matter for us to read this? And this kind of falls in the category of all the genealogies that we have in the Bible, all these lists of names. To me, it says that God cares about specific people, about places, about where you're born, about you specifically, not just all people in general, but you and where you are and where you're from. So it's actually pretty amazing that God would take the time to detail all of these people and all the places that he cared about and loved.
Joshua becomes the successor after Moses dies. How did he get that job? We're not told specifically, but what we do see is that Joshua is just kind of a constant presence. Moses wants Joshua around everywhere that Moses is going and a part of everything that Moses is doing. At one point, as Moses is leading the people, he's just doing too much, and his father-in-law Jethro says, delegate. And so a big part of the leadership principles we get from Moses, have somebody that you're raising up as an apprentice, as a disciple, someone who can do the job when you're no longer around to do it.
Woo!
That was easy.
See you next time.